Hi guys. So today I'm going to talk to you about a geometry standard. So your standard says, I can understand that shapes in different categories may share attributes and that the shared attributes may define a larger category. So I want to talk about what a couple of things in that standard means. So when it says category, it's meaning it means like a combined collection of shapes. Rhombuses, rectangles, and squares. Those different categories may share attributes. And what does that mean, sharing attributes? Well, attributes is another name for like a description or a characteristic. Okay? And that the shared attributes, for example, these shared attributes would be them all having four sides. Define a larger category. The larger category in this instance is talking about quadrilaterals. First, before we start getting into quadrilaterals, we have to go over a few things first. The first thing that we need to know, what is a right angle? So a right angle is going to be an angle that makes a complete L. A lot of times when you're determining if something's a right angle, you can use the edge of a piece of paper because we know that that is a right angle. Another thing that we need to talk about is, what does it mean if it says opposite sides are equal? So if you have a rectangle, like this, opposite sides, these two, are equal. And opposite sides here are also equal. And then another way that you might see this in problems is it might be said that you have two pairs or sets, or sometimes you might only have one pair or set of opposite equal sides. What is parallel? Well, parallel is when two lines are going at the same rate and they're never going to touch. So if I have these two lines, they're going this way, they're never going to touch. These two lines, you see how they're curved a little bit? Well, that's because eventually they're going to cross paths. So that would be an example of something that's not parallel. Let's talk about the specific types of shapes that you should be able to recognize and be able to explain their attributes. So first we have the broad category, and you're going to see as I draw this out for you that it's going to be kind of like those little China dolls where one comes out of the other. So inside this brown circle, everything's going to be a polygon. Okay, so a polygon is any figure with straight sides. So it could be an octagon, which that's not a very good picture of an octagon, but that's a good example because our next category, quadrilaterals. What makes a quadrilateral? Well, two things. Four sides, four angles. Your quad there equals 4. Then there's two big categories. So we already have one larger category, which is quadrilaterals, okay? Then we have two smaller categories within quadrilaterals. A parallelogram and a non-parallelogram. So a parallelogram looks like this. Okay? Its attributes, other than having four sides and four angles, are going to be opposite sides are parallel. So that means those opposite sides are never going to touch each other. Okay? So I'm going to go deeper into all parallelograms first. So you have your parallelogram, and then you have your rhombus and your rectangle. Your rhombus kind of looks like a diamond in a way, but we don't say diamond, we say rhombus. So a rhombus, other than having opposite sides parallel, all equal sides. All the sides are equal. And then a rectangle, it has opposite sides that are equal, and then it also has four right angles. Okay? Now, there's one more category in parallelograms. And this one is going to be inside both. Square. And I'm going to list the attributes down here. So it has four sides and four angles. Its opposite sides are parallel. It's going to have all equal sides. But then it also has four right angles. So non-parallelograms, you could have the most famous one, a trapezoid. And trapezoids are going to have one pair of parallel lines. Okay, that would be why parallelograms versus non-parallelograms, parallelograms have both sides opposite of each other that are parallel. Non-parallelograms, they don't have two sides, two pairs of sides that are parallel. They only have one pair that's parallel because these two sides are not parallel. They're going to end up touching. Then you have some other ones such as a kite, such as anything with four sides. All right, guys, I hope that helped you out with your geometry standard and those shared attributes of one another. Remember that if you're asked for attributes of a rhombus, it's asking you for these things. It's asking you to say, well, it's a polygon, it's a quadrilateral, it's a parallelogram, four sides, four angles, opposite sides are parallel, and all equal sides. And the difference between the square and the rhombus is, do you have right angles or not right angles? A rhombus does not have right angles, but a square does. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed my geometry mini lesson, and let me know if you have any questions. Thanks, guys.